Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Bobby's Business Club, the chat show. We have two of our members on the screen with you for you today. Bobby's Business Club is all about giving more time back to our members and people who want to network. What does that mean? It means that we have small events with smaller, limited people in them, but it means you get more time to talk on the screen. We kind of stay away from 45-second pitches and allow people to talk for 5 to 10 minutes, and this is what this chat show is all about. We bring our guests onto the chat show so we can promote their 1-hour presentations. We don't do 10-minute presentations at Bobby's Business Club. And those presentations will happen 2 to 3 weeks away from this event, from this recording. And what that allows us to do is to promote those events across all of our networks. And so that's enough about Bobby's Business Club, enough about me. I would love to introduce to you two of our guests and two members of Bobby's Business Club. Hello, Joanne Brooks from Navigate Biz. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Pleasure.
Brilliant. I love the background. Looks beautiful. Maria Davies from Maria Heals. How are you, my friend?
I'm really well. Fantastic this morning.
I love that word. Fantastic is a great word to use. But our first guest today who we're going to bring up is going to be Joanne Brooks from Navigate Biz. And Joanne is, your vision is to inspire and reawakening of belief in self to create a movement of purposeful female leaders. You are an expert in building sustainable businesses with years of experience, success, and failure under your belt. Joanne, please tell us a bit more about yourself and Navigate Biz.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I guess for me, I've been in business for the last 20 odd years. Navigate Biz has been in existence since 2017. It was created for the sole purpose of putting a dent in the business failure rates globally. Business ownership is hard, shouldn't do it on your own. And at the time, my business partner and I decided that we had developed a lot of skills over the many years of being in business. As I said on there, I've had success, I've had not some great outcomes in business, and there's so much learning to come out of that, that we really felt that we could share the breadth of our business experience to really help business owners to be successful. And this purpose, this vision literally is in its infancy, the one that you just mentioned today, Bobby, because I'm going through a new iteration of Navigate. We formed a relationship with a company called the Desir Business School. My goal and my vision is to work with women in business. Now, that's not to say I'm limiting myself to people who own a business or people who work in a business. It's women who are in business that I want to help them to really shift their mindset that they can actually, the sacrifice has been worth it, because a lot of women feel, oh man, I'm doing so much and I just don't feel I'm getting there. And I want to help them shift the mindset, get there to be successful, whether it's in their business or whether it's in the corporate sector. So Navigate Business going through a new evolution, if you will.
It's always good. Change is always good. We have to evolve our businesses and evolve our products, and new ideas come from that. But when I was reading your notes, what I really did love about what you put in there is the failure under your belt. And a lot of people don't realize that businesses need failure to succeed, and not even just businesses, but within ourselves, even if we're just an employee, etc., or we might not have a business, but we still fail in a lot of things, and we have to understand that failure can be a good thing as long as we've got the right support around us to turn that around. And this is why I love having someone like yourself as one of our members, is because it's easy for you to show us how you failed rather than allowing us to fail, and then we can move forward. Yeah, it's brilliant. And so my first question for you is, what is your experience of business growth strategies?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. To give you context, in late 2014, early 2015, I got hit with a trademark issue. And it came at me because I actually was going through the process of having my business trademarked. So I was doing the right thing, putting the business name and a lot of sort of things in there. And I received a letter that was unexpected from a global company, and they said, you have 6 days to change your business name because it's your application is in breach of our trademark. And it wasn't like I knew the company, but I didn't know that they had a division buried within the many layers of their business that was at odds with us. And, as a business owner today, the new business owner that I am today, I would fight tooth and nail to retain my trademark and my brand. I wouldn't want somebody else to be in competition with me. So I went back to him and said, so can you give me 60 days and I'll rebrand my business? So I did that. And it was the best thing that could have come my way, because that was the impetus to build a business from 0 to 30 million in about 24 months. That was insane. It was a crazy growth strategy. But what came with it, it wasn't this overnight success that a lot of people, they perceive on social media and all those sort of things. Because I'd had 30 years of being working in this industry, and it was in what we would call in Australia the vet sector, or the registered training organisations delivering qualifications. And Australia supports that sector incredibly well. The government does, in the way of funding. And there was a significant amount of funding that enabled me to create something that was really different. So I had a product, that was 7 times the price of the standard one that you could go and get from any other provider. And so what I knew I needed to do was to really understand the value of what I was bringing to my customer. So that was a really important growth strategy, is that be very clear that you're answering a need for the customer, and that the value you're bringing to them is unexpected even. Like it's so substantial. So it enabled me to offer a program that you could get from anywhere else for $35,000 instead of $5,000. So it was a way more expensive program, but it created something that gave, and my target audience was small business owners. And at the end of the day, they achieved a qualification. I had all these divisions in my business that we could create their marketing plan. They had a business plan. They had an accounting strategy. They had a financial strategy. They had their IT sorted, had their website built, and the SEO done. And we could also give them HR and recruitment services. So it was a professional services department store. So it had taken me that amount of time to put that concept together. But once it was in place, I could then go and talk to some of my competitors in the country and say to them, so I'm a little orange speedboat compared to your large organisation. I can react very quickly. I understand how our industry works. I'm going to take the pressure off of you, make it really easy. I'm going to do everything that you do, but I'm going to get students and you're going to give me your funding. And they said yes. So that enabled me to multiply. And then the next strategy was automation. So I implemented systems that, I had 3 systems: a sales system, student management system, and a delivery of content system. And I put in API that it went this way and it went that way. We were the first RTO to have no paper. It was all paperless. It was all done by the phone with links, signing up, all done seamlessly. And I had teams of people ready to talk to them. So the 4th strategy was sales. You've got to get sales, right? You've got to have a strategy of how you can get sales. So I went out to the market and found sales organisations that had teams of people. I monitored what they said. I told them what they could do. And they then started the machine. And that brought the students in. But we then, high touch, high tech is super important to me. There's no point having a high technical product that they don't get to speak to a human. Like we're delivering online learning. They could have been anywhere, but they needed to be able to speak to somebody. So I had a team of people doing that. So this automation actually allowed me to repurpose a team of 10 people who were sitting there typing in people's details into a system. And they became my customer engagement team. So they were talking to students from the moment they enrolled, talking to them, encouraging them, setting goals. What do we do? How do we do? So we were really successful in that growth strategy and enabled the business to grow incredibly fast. But we actually hit some really great milestones. At the time, the progression rate of students in these types of programs was as low as 3%. It was terrible, absolutely horrific. We hit 85% because we had high touch and a lot of technology around it, that actually I could reduce the amount of people. And then we found a model that worked, and I found more competitors to go and work with.
I love the story and the fact that you went from 0 to 30 million. Is that right? 0 to 30 in 2 years. It's mind-blowing. And you're so right. People go, oh, it's an overnight success because they just see that one day that you went from something to that, but they don't see it.
In a row.
Yeah, they don't see the early mornings, the stress, the original letter, and the thought in your head of, oh, like if that happened to me, I'd be like, oh, really? That's a whole heap of work I've got to go and do again now. But good things come from bad things, don't they? And it's that fork in the road. Would have you been in the same situation if that didn't happen? It's one of those amazing things. And your next question I have for you is around COVID. Surely with the impact of COVID, it is a time to hunker down and ride it out. I know what my answer is to this. What's your thoughts on this, Joanne?
Get out there loud and proud. Don't sit quiet. Look, this is the time to get out there and be loud and proud about your business. Talk to people, connect with people, and you know the interesting thing is there has never been so much cash. This may be controversial. So much cash in the country anywhere. You look at how much cash is being printed, literally printed by government, and yes, it has an impact on inflation, all those things. But there's never been so much cash. People have disposable income that they've never had before. Like like I was listening to the Reserve Bank of Australia talking about, you know, interest rates going up, but they were also saying, which is data, actual facts, that most home loans have had so much money poured into it lately because they haven't been able to go on these holidays. They've been doing all these things, so actually ahead of the game. Now, I'm not an economist, but that suggests to me that there is a disposable income out there. You know, I also hear from business owners, well, I don't know where my customers have gone. Well, hey, your customers have not gone anywhere. They might just be hanging out somewhere else. But the best strategy in a time of challenge with the thought of, you know, the impact of COVID and potential recession is you now need to grow. You now need to put more people in your team. And I'm not talking about necessarily employees. They could be just get a team around you to support you. Be part of a networking group that you can speak to, that you can bounce ideas off. Get somebody who's an accountability person, a mentor, a coach. You know, I'm sure, Maria, you would agree with that as well. You know, you don't do business on your own. And don't do growth on your own, because you're just making it, the weight on your shoulders are just going to be way, way, way too hard. So, you know, I know for us, when COVID hit, we were really fortunate. We won a really substantial tender through the Queensland government. It enabled us to provide all our content to every, actually not just business individual, but every person who wanted to be involved in small business. So if you think about that phrase that I just said, any individual in Queensland could have accessed these programs. We were able to impact 2,000 businesses in the middle of COVID, and it grew our business. It gave it a lovely big bump, which is great. Built a database, got to talk to a lot of customers, and there's a lot of overwhelm, and it continues to be that. And I think the big piece about this is something that we talk about every time we start a new program is mindset. And you need to get your mindset ready to go, actually, take a breath. Yep, there's a lot going on at the moment. Where's the opportunity? Where can I shift and move my business to take advantage? Because your customers might have been walking physically through the door in your retail store, but hey, they are going to be somewhere else. There's a great story I heard just really quickly. In the middle of COVID, a cafe in Brisbane decided, they were shut down, decided to put their brownies online. It was sold to a famous actor in LA, and they became a global overnight success because he talked about these brownies that he bought from a cafe in Brisbane. So what I'm saying here is every business now has a global audience. I don't care what you deliver. If it's a cafe, you can sell your recipe, you can sell your product anywhere, service, product, whatever. Don't be narrow-minded to think my audience is just in my stuff because I'm a plumber. Your audience is global. And it's thinking about what can I do outside the box that I can provide a service of plumbing to somebody in another country. And there are ways to do that.
There definitely is. And you make some great points. And I saw an interesting fact around, or stat around the money that was printed in the US. And that was 50% of all money produced in the US ever was produced in the 2 years of COVID. And so people go, oh, there's plenty of money. But as business owners, we have to be able to go out there. We have to put our faith out there and meet people. And you're so right. You can get a lot of support from home, but they don't understand the business side of it so well. And so having a network of business owners around you where you can go, hey, I'm really struggling with this. It really helps because they understand what you're going through. So I'm testament to this. Over the last 2 years, threw myself into networking, and because I kept doing it and just being a positive mindset, it attracted not only people to me, but allowed me to also then service those people, not only with recruitment, but any support they needed. And then you become a figure of not authority, but a support. And all of a sudden, then you've got a really good network around you. So you're spot on. And there's plenty of, if you take action and be positive, good things will come. That's what my thoughts anyway. And so what are your 5 quick tips to business growth in today's market?
Yeah. So first one, mindset, check. The language you use, the things you think is what you're going to get served. Like I often use the analogy, like if you say, I'm going to try to do something, guess what you're going to get? It's going to be really trying. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I will, I have, I can, I do. Write your goals as though they've already happened. Really important. Do the research of your opportunity. Like we've got some tools that Navigate here that when I have our clients fill them in, their eyeballs pop, because even a plumber, if you think about all the products that you offer, how many people in your suburb, state, city, country might use those services, and you multiply it out by getting the data from, get data from census, from Australian Bureau of Statistics, whatever the relevant is to in other countries, get the data to know the size of your market. Now, it might be, I've done some work on that on some of the products we've got, and the opportunity that I have in Queensland is worth $600 million. Now, I know there's competitors though, so that reduces my share. And that might take some people's breath away. That excites me. But what I know is this is to be done over a period of time. So don't worry about how. Know the size of the opportunity. Some of these numbers will absolutely blow your mind, because we have a global opportunity, but then you've got to have a plan. Who in their right mind builds a house without a plan, without foundations? But why do we do that for a business? We don't hop on a plane where the pilot goes, I'm going to rip up the flight plan and we'll get to LA somehow. Nobody would do that, because that's a little bit scary, but yet we continue to do that in business. We don't have a plan. And a lot of business owners go, I don't have time to put that together. And my question to you is, what's your commitment to the growth of your business, to make a difference, to have your family be proud of what you do and make the impact you need? What's your commitment? Because if you're not prepared to do a plan and put the foundations in, you're going to be at a loss. Know your customer intimately, inside out, upside down. Close your eyes. If you can picture that person in a crowd of people and you know what they're feeling, what they need, get to that point when you do close, or when you see them walking down the street, that's my customer. I know what they look like. I know how they walk. I know what they say. You need to know them intimately so that you can go and find them. Get a mentor. Surround yourself with the right team. And a lot of this stuff, like I know a lot of people would be possibly thinking, oh, but gosh, it's another cost to the business. Hey, look, there are mentors out there that will do it because they've got experience and they want to give back. Join network groups. If you're not in a position to do it financially, there's a lot of them. Like I know, Bobby, you allow people to come in for free and experience it. But I can tell you the financial commitment of a business networking group, those sort of things, the return on investment is going to be an absolute multiple if you interact with it with a growth mindset, with the perception of, I'm going to share what I do, I want to be held accountable, and how can I collaborate with others? Like, as I said, I've collaborated with some of my biggest competitors, not just people who have my audience. Go out there and start talking loud and proud about your business.
Yeah, be proud and take action. You've got to take action. You've got to be able to go out there. I want to throw
one extra tip in here that's really, you touched on it very briefly. Make sure you share why you do what you do with your family. Because they don't necessarily get it. I'm surrounded by people who are employed and they don't understand the drive and what it means for me. But, create your one-page business plan, present it to your family and go, this is where we're going, guys. This is why I'm working the hours I do. I'm going to make a commitment to give to you. Like, I've got to make sure that I give my time to my family and I don't ignore them. But take them on the journey. Don't just say, oh, I'm busy. Share why you do what you do and what success looks like for you. Oh, well, it's a trip here and it's a lovely new home there and it's impacting amazing people and having that ripple effect, but share it with your family. Be really proud of that.
Yeah, communication is key with anything, really. That's what brings success. If you can't communicate, and it's all just going to cause trouble, arguments, and that's in personal life and in business. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I'm blown away by this part, right? I read this and I had to read it about 3 times, and I was like, oh my God, I want to come and work for you. So is it true that you took your team, 28 people to China, 50 people to Hawaii, and 45 people to Alaska? Is that real? And so tell us more about how you celebrate growth.
Yeah, absolutely. So celebrating growth. So we knew we had the formula right for this organization. So what we decided was we would put a percentage of our turnover into the fund account. And it had to be spent each year. Now, as I said, we hit 30 million, so we're doing some big numbers. So, the first one was 28 people to China. It was on a tour, it was on a budget, it was a week. But, it was for high-performing people in the team. It wasn't just given to everybody. So there were people who didn't come. We had the team, they decide where we were going to go. They were given a budget. So we'd say at the end of each year, we'd always celebrate with, some sort of celebration and get together. And we even had balls at one point. But it would be a presentation. Okay, everybody, you've got a month to decide where we're going to go so we can plan it. So we took 28 people to China, 50 to Hawaii. And the biggest one, the best one, was a cruise to Alaska. That was massive. It was amazing. So we've had some fantastic opportunities to enable our team to celebrate in the success of the business. And what I didn't put in there, we also gave them shares in the business, because it was really important that they take ownership of the business. Like, too many people start a business with 2 shares. Why not start with 1 million shares? Doesn't cost you any more. And why not share it with them with the success of the business? Because if you've got a team who are performing, you're celebrating your wins, and then you share part of that business and the journey, you've got people who are committed and equally engaged with your business. And the first one I did, which was I promised my team, as soon as $1 million hit my bank account at the beginning of this business, that I would take them to Sydney first class. And it was a small team by that point. We had 6 or 7 people. And it was actually more cost effective for me to hire a private jet out of Coolangatta, and we flew to Sydney, the Hummers and the great restaurant on Sydney Harbour, and then we came back. And that was something that just created a beautiful memory. And I always remember, because they knew we were going to the Coolangatta airport. So we were going in a tag team of cars, and I had to go to a private hangar. So what was really lovely, I'd set it up. So we drove up to this hangar, and everybody's going, why are we here? We should be at the domestic terminal. And then this garage door just came up. And right in front of us was this Learjet, this private jet. Man, never done that before. Haven't done it since, but it just gave me such joy to do that. And it wasn't as expensive as you think.
And it makes a difference to the team, like the morale. I'm not saying it would be down, but just that instant of, wow, look at all the hard work we've done, and this is, it makes it worth it. It really does. And
so percentage into the fund account, just do that. Yeah. And it could start small. We're going on a picnic, guys. We've got $500 in the bank account. Let's go have a picnic. Take the day off.
I love that.
Okay. Big things. Yeah.
Beautiful. And to tell us more about your Biz Boot Camp.
So the Biz Boot Camp is an 8-week mentored program. So it starts with mindset, super important, right? And it's called a boot camp for a reason. So, we go through 8 weeks. There's live mentoring every week, every Friday. There's no screen sharing, none of that. We just talk about the topic of the week. We go through mindset, looking under the hood of the business and just going, where is it now? Because we put a line in the sand. Looking at the size of the market opportunity. Wow, okay, there's some great opportunity here. How to sell. What's your marketing strategy going to look like? Falling in love with your finances. Too many business owners don't want to talk about their money, don't want to look at it. Set some business, not just rhythms, but some business processes that you're connected to why you do it. Look at your numbers every day. Create a management report. Share it with the team. And at the end of the day, it's creating that roadmap, that business plan at the end of it. So this is a business, anybody new, existing, want to reset the line in the sand of the business, get back into the foundations. And the lovely thing is it's all as a group. So we get to share everybody's experiences and what, the challenges they've got, because we all have much the same. Doesn't matter what it looks like. So, and you get a book, you get a lovely box posted to you with planners and a workbook and a earbuds and a pen and all those sort of things. And then you've got about 200 tools that you can implement across the business. And then there's a workbook that you can go through and about 10 hours of video to watch, actually, through a landing page.
Sounds beautiful. And like you say, if you are new into business or you're just starting a business or even you've been into business for 20, 30, 40 years, it's always good to go back to those basics, reset, learn how to do it, because we cram our brain with so much stuff that all of a sudden that stuff that you learned maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago is gone, and now we just need to reset. You can join Joanne at our How to Know When to Grow Your Business event on the 4th of August at 10 a.m. All the details are in the description of the video. There's also a link there for Joanne's LinkedIn if you'd like to reach out to her to learn more about Joanne, anything she's spoken about today on the recording. But also, if you do not feel comfortable doing that, you can also reach out to me, and I'm happy to do an introduction for you. But thanks for being part of the network. Thanks for being part of Bobby's Business Club, and just thanks for being a great person and providing your experience to people who need it most. But really appreciate you, and thanks for your time. And now on to our next guest. We have the wonderful Maria Davies from Maria Heals. I've been networking with Maria for about 1.5 years now, maybe 2 years. But Maria from Maria Heals is a business coach with a difference. She likes to add spiritual practices to your business efforts so that your marketing expands and connects you and your offers with your ideal audiences. Maria, welcome, and tell us more about Maria Heals.
Thank you so much. How exciting to be here. Well, Maria Heals was born out of being in the mind always and ignoring the cues from the body. So I came from the body. My body of work started with the physical body, and then we went to the emotional body, and then we went to the mental body, and now we work on the spiritual body, and we combine the four. There's really 5 bodies, but we combine them all and we create the whole complete package of you as a presenter, as a brand for your business. And once you get onto that platform with certainty and less fear, less doubt, we're always going to have that. We are on a mission. We're on a mission. It's bigger than us. So that's what I teach. I was listening, and I teach that meta, that thing that's intangible, that you can't touch, but you know deeply in your soul that that's your presence, that's your pull to make a difference. And I'm really passionate about legacy. You know, what is our legacy? How do we make a difference, not only to us, so you, not only to your family, but also the world? How are you contributing? So my things are about connection, contribution, and commitment. What are you committed to? And that passion comes through. It doesn't matter what you're doing in business, but, you know, making money is a fuel to add to add to the ecology, to add to the collective, the nuance of the magic, that happy vibe. You know, if you're safe, and this is a lot of the things that I work on, is being safe and secure and creating confidence.
It's definitely needed. You know, once you feel confident in yourself and you feel safe with what you're doing, you know, you can just let your mind and let everything be natural, and, you know, and go forward and conquer the world if that's what you want to do. But you have to have that right foundation, and if you don't feel safe, then you're not going to go out there and do that. So it's really important to do that. And so, how do you define soul purpose?
Soul purpose keeps you awake at night.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought that was insomnia.
And it doesn't let up. Your soul purpose doesn't let up. You have to walk the path. I tried to ignore mine for years. And when I embraced it fully, I got out of my own way and started to show up. If you're empathic, if you're sensitive to energy, anything like that it will contract you in a way. So what is safety? How do I feel safe? So once I got out of my own way, so Maria Davis sits over there, but Maria Heals is here. So develop your own brand and develop your business energy as an entity of its own, and then step into it, but know when to step out of it and know what it takes to regroup. And that's what I work on, is the matrix of energy, you know, that incoming as well as outgoing. Because women I work with generally overgivers. So, most people in business that I come up, men and women, we want to give, and we're there as a growth mindset. But how do we receive? So the things that I work on is value and worth. What are you contributing, and then how can you receive?
And what are the 3 things that you've implemented in your business that work for you and your clients?
Yeah, so the first thing, I know this is like, I'm not linear, but this is the first thing that kept me safe, is how much does your business cost you to run? And I say to everyone, so I work with startups as well as people that have been in business for a long time, have a float, whether it's 1 month, whether it's 2 months, whether it's 3 months, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 12 months, you decide. But you want to know that you're not going week by week and you go, oh, when's the next dollar coming in? You've got a month, I would recommend 3 months. But when I first started, it was a month. And I went, okay, I've got enough to do what I need to do for a month. And then I've got this extra that I'll reinvest into the business, whether it be personal development or strategy or hiring staff. I've got that much to work with. So know your figures. So know how much it costs to run your business. The second thing is, and this is the spiritual, have an altar. I know people go, an altar, what? And an altar could be photos of your family, things that make you smile. I have crystals on I love crystals, so I work with crystals and I teach about crystals. There's a whole different narrative there, but have things that make your soul light up in your space where you have your business, where you run your business, and make a commitment daily. Sit there, take a breath and connect, and then make a commitment daily to what you're in business for. So I love the why. Why are you here? Sure, business is about making money, but it's so much more than that. And then the last thing is have a support team, because your family doesn't always get it. Your support team should be accountability buddies, people that you have around you that are in business, that are on the same narrative that you are, that have the same soul mission, people that understand and appreciate the dips and the lows and highs of business. So have that as a narrative, especially when you're thinking, things are, and then you go, people to celebrate with too, because people in your family won't always get why you're in, but go and get a job. No, this is why I'm in business, so we all have that narrative. So have a support team. And lastly, have a mentor. Whether it's paid or unpaid, but someone who's doing what you want to do. So someone who's walked the line and really taken those steps and has achieved what you would like to achieve. So have a look at that.
Amazing points there, and especially when we're talking about books. I'm terrible with money. I used to be terrible with money until I started these businesses, and now every week, every Friday when I'm doing my books, I'm looking in there, going, do I really need that? Do I need that? What if I take this out? Oh, what does the next 3 months like? What were the last 3 months like? Okay, well, the last 3 months were this, so in theory that should be here, so that means I can go and do this. And so take time and to look into that, and because that's really, without those books you understanding them, it's going to affect what you do in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And we all know we're leading up to the Christmas word, and especially in Australia, we have this period of time where December and January, maybe February, might be a bit slow. So we have to prepare for that time now, because it's going to be here in a flash. And also that point of having something around you. And I've got vision boards, and those things really help me. What I put on those vision boards is not just monetary goals or anything like that. I've got pictures of kookaburras on there and stuff like that, because they make me smile. Actually, that way to me now is a canal that goes to a sea on Bribey Island. And I bought some binoculars because there's some beautiful birds that live on there, and between meetings, I go and have a look because they make me smile, they make me feel good. And so when I'm going into a meeting, I'm feeling good. And all those little things really do help. So some amazing points there. And so imagine 10 times in your income revenue with simple gratitude. Now, gratitude, I never understood this, but I do more so being in business now and understanding it. Please tell us more about it.
Me too. I was saying, what? What?
Yeah.
But now I do something that's really special. It makes my heart sing. And then I send, anytime I receive income, anytime I receive a payment, I send back a note, and may you receive it 10 times. May you 10 times this investment. And that's a ripple effect that occurs. It's a gratitude, it's a blessing from me, and it's a blessing from them to me that they've paid me. And I want to acknowledge that and then send them a blessing. So any blessings we send in the world, we receive 10 times as well. So that is the growth mindset. And there's certain language around it that can frame your mindset as well. So I would say, like, my language is not always the business corporate language, but lean into what makes your heart smile, what makes your, one of my things is, that made my heart smile, because that warm and fuzzy, and it just brings me back to presence and why I'm here, and that's to connect to myself, but also connect to my soul family as well. So so send out a blessing. So you can borrow that one. May you receive it 10 times. May it return to you 10 times. So 10 times your investment.
And it makes so much difference as well. Like when we get a client or someone's someone's come on board, I always say to them, I appreciate you and I appreciate your business, not just as in the business you've given me, but you as a business. I appreciate you as a business, because it's hard work in business. And we have a gratitude diary. We've kind of laxed on it over the last few months, but normally what we would do is, at the end of the day, when we're having dinner, after we've had dinner, we'd write 3 things in there that we were grateful for about the day. And then the next morning when I'm having breakfast, I'd read that and I'd be like, oh yeah, because you'd kind of reset from the day before. You go like, oh, that makes you feel, again, making you feel good, making you feel, positive about things, because, life can get on top of you, and without writing things down and having something to look at, physically go and look at and remind you of why you're doing it, your why, then, it can be a very hard journey. So I honestly believe gratitude is the way to the future. I think that we should be teaching it in schools, more meditation, understanding your brain and your mind and how it works, and that you aren't a slave to this. This should be serving you, and having those positive gratitude sessions can really support that. So I'm really on the same page of what you do with your clients. And tell us more about your 5-day spell package.
So my goal is to demystify what magic is. We all have this perception about magic, but I think we're all magical. And I think it's up to us to define what magic we bring to the world. So I was sitting here and I go, oh, wonder how I can do this. So I created a 5 days, 5 spells, and part of it is the art of asking. And I don't know that we define what we want particularly well as humans. We know what we don't want, but we don't always know what we desire and what we want. So the 5 days, 5 spells is a bit quirky, but it's really about learning to ask and define what you want. And I've worked in elemental magic, so I like to work with fire, air, water, earth, and spirit. So I've sort of worked in some of those esoteric teachings, but made it really practical. Is, what can I ask for? And it's like, oh my God, I go, ooh, and just really go for it. And quite often it materializes in ways that you don't expect it to materialize. So get ready. you will receive. Yeah.
And so how can we find out more information about the package?
So it's on my website, so I can definitely share the link. So they just have to send me their email and I'll send them the package. It's one a day for, I think there's about a 5-day. I've actually just opted in myself because I wasn't well and I'm like, I need a bit of passion. So I've opted, I've got the tools, I'll do it myself. So today is day 1 and it's all about love. And it's like, I am so excited and just opting into I know this sounds like out there, but that's Maria Heals. So Maria Davis has opted into Maria Heals. And I'm like, I am so excited to be able to do this. So sometimes we forget the tools that we have in our treasure chest, in our experience, in our wisdom little box. And sometimes we need to be reminded. And I'm just like everyone else. So I'm excited to do it. So yeah.
So you've signed yourself up, you've sent yourself your message, 10x in your income coming back to you. So, it's all good. It's all going to work well for you.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
I've been really waiting for this part because it always makes me laugh when we talk about this. So now you've obtained a saying / slogan that came from your monthly circles. What is the saying and how did it come about?
So the first, this is really interesting. Can I swear on?
You can.
Yeah. So the saying is, which I've become synonymous with, is you can't make this shit up, because so I run a 12-month mentorship into magic. So monthly we set intentions for the month, and then we create an altar, we create a space that we can recommit to daily. So some of us will recommit, visit it daily. Some of us will forget it. It's like, so everyone has their own path and they have their own learnings, but every month we would revisit them as a group. And people would pick up their crystal. We have an intention under a crystal, and they go, "You can't make this shit up. Look, it's happened." Whether it be more clients, and we're all in business, so it's more clients, more money, profit, margin increase. Whatever it was, it would occur. And the look of awe, astonishment, and surprise on the women in circle would be really interesting. I just fascinating. And they would say, "Maria, you can't make this shit up. You've got to experience it."
And we spoke about it yesterday, I think it was, that there's got to be a merchandise line coming with that on t-shirts, a couple of hats, pens, it'd be just your logo on it, it'll be just beautiful. I love networking with you. I love speaking to you on the screen. You're a great person. You're very warming and welcoming, and you make networking very easy. And you're an easy person to talk to. I can highly recommend having a one-to-one with both the members who you've seen on the screen today. All the details are going to be in the description. You can join Maria at our How to 10x Your Revenue with this one spiritual practice event on the 29th of July at 10 a.m. All the details are in the description, and there'll be LinkedIn links for both Maria and Joanne, and there'll be links in there for you to register for the event as well. And of course, you can always reach out to me if you'd like an introduction. But guys, thank you so much for being part of the network. Thanks for being on the chat show today. Thanks for being such amazing people within business. People look up to you, people need you guys. I definitely need you guys. So thanks for being part of it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.